All right, so last week for testing, I put a lot of actors on a map to kind of stress test things, and it failed the stress test. Not really for a technical reason, but for a it failed because the controls were just not good enough. It was too hard for the GM and the players to keep up with everything needed done, and we were able to play through, but it took way longer than it should have, and there was way too much waiting around. It was not fun or interesting. The only reason we kept playing is because these people had agreed to test with me, and they were willing to stick it out, which I'm really grateful for. But as a result, I've spent the last week working on the controls, because that is, you always got to put out the hottest fire, and the fact that the controls are not able to, they're not easy enough to use, they're not efficient enough to allow you to run something that big, I see that as a major problem. So there are a number of improvements that we'll see tomorrow when we do our testing, when I do that stream. And I want to make another dungeon similar to Flight of the Refugees. So instead of trying to come up with a name, I'm just going to cop out and call it another flight. And I'm not going to spend as much. I'm going to try to spend a little more time. I'm going to try to spend a little more time. I'm going to try to spend a little more time making it a little better playable, and I'm not really going to worry about story as much. The story is basically, here's an escort mission. That's really all we're dealing with regard to story. And by making these walls, making these walls 4 squares wide, should be leaving myself plenty of space to do things like I should be leaving myself plenty of space to do things like add obstructions or other interesting things. Come on. All right, so, the big thing is I don't want them to be able to just see the whole way down the hall. One of the things I learned is that angled walls, they cause problems because you can see between the bricks, at a sort of a 45-degree angle. So you don't really want that. So let's start, we'll start in this corner and we'll go up and around. So let's start by putting spawn points. One here, one here, one here, one here. It'd be nice to get 4 players. We'll see. Now, since this is an escort mission, I'm going to say, even though it says it's a peasant, I'm going to say that's our nobleman. And we'll have some guards working with the players. So they're going to go. Really didn't have a real concrete idea about what I was going to be doing here. Just kind of trying to wing it. Replacing floors, so let's put a doorway here. Put some monsters in here. And we'll give ourselves some secret passages so we can move them around if we want to. In fact, while I'm at it, let's just floor this whole area up here. I'm just not really sure. Let's do, I'm really drawing a blank, like I'm not really sure what I want to do. I feel like I'm really, let's just mob them with imps. So this will be a great test of whether the new controls work. So we're going to have between 6 and 9 good guys and all these bad guys. And then what we'll do, and just because I'm thinking of it now, there'll be a treasure chest so they know when at their end, because that's kind of like the universal that is what has become kind of the symbol that you're at the end for this game. So this will allow us to have dungeons and crap. Dungeons and crap. Listen to me. So let's put, those were imps. Let's put a handful of goblins in here. And we'll put some more in here in case we want them. And we'll put some orcs. So we got some big guys, and we'll put, just a few because orcs are kind of tough. And then to make things, I mean, here's my concern, is this is like a lot of walking. Although again, with the new stuff, it shouldn't be that bad. So if I do, so let's do a little experiment. Like I'm kind of like, it's funny because I kind of go between wanting to make really good dungeons and wanting to make kind of like crap dungeons to see if it works when you have a crap dungeon. So I mean, this is gonna be a pain in the neck for everybody to get through. I can make it slightly easier. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to follow a straight line. In fact, it's probably better off if it doesn't. So this is like your first little thing. They come through, they have to go around, all this crap, they get attacked from the sides. When they get in here, they get attacked through here, wall here, so that there's no escape from the dungeon. And then they get attacked from here. I mean, it's going to be like a lot of encounters. And here's the thing, like, it's so fast to draw this. You think about it. We have 1, 2, 3, and if I put guys here, we're already up to 4 combat encounters. It's pretty busy. I really don't, like, I'm having trouble with my creativeness right now. Just draw some stuff and see if, like, ideas surface. Doesn't need to be that big. We'll put mid-sized monsters in here. They'll come through. Just for the hex of it. Make a wall here. I'm really kind of making this up as I go. And then we'll block it off here. Don't know if that's necessary. We'll make an opening here. And we'll put some critters. And again, a lot of the testing behind this is, can I manage large groups of monsters? So let's put a lot of weak monsters in here. Really not sure what I'm doing right now. So let's put this here and then divide this way. We'll have another, get the floor out, we'll have another floor here. And we'll have another opening here. Okay, so the two things that came up, one is when there's a lot of monsters, everything slows down because the GM has too much to do because he's got too many monsters to manage. And I've made things where a lot of the monsters' activities are now automated. So you can give them a task and they'll just keep doing it. So the one thing we want to test is large groups of monsters. The other thing that we found was that movement was really problematic when you got into things. And we knew this, but the way things were going, it became much more evident. When you get into these kind of twisty-turny hallways, it got really bad. So we're testing both through here. So maybe we'll be down here, they'll come down. Maybe through here, I'll tell you what, let's just wall this off. When they get a clear shot at things, let's see how that changes things. So we'll get them through here and then we'll have one more attack. I think I'll just put goblins. Then we'll pepper around some extras in case we need them, want them, whatever. A couple of big guys. So I can add or remove to the total attack force as needed. And since I'm not really worried about a story, that goes pretty quick. I do want to add a little bit of color so they have names. I think they like names. I think it helps. I'm going to be really cheesy here. This will be Lord Nobleman. All right, so this is really simple. It only took me like 15 minutes, and that's probably going to be an hour's worth of play. So let's go through it. We're going to say, okay, here you go. You got to escort, this rich nobleman through the whole thing. They're going to come out here, immediately get attacked. There's going to be a jumble and fight and everything, but it's a bunch of little guys. So this will be a good test of how do they do with, because there's going to be, as the GM, I'm going to have, 5 good guys and all these bad guys to take care of, and then they're going to be involved. And we'll come out here, and this is kind of ridiculous. I mean, it probably doesn't matter, but it's just weird to me. And also, I'm a little bit weird because I know that the game runs a little bit better, the less, map tiles and stuff it has to do with. Anyway, so they'll come through here, and that'll be a little bit of a practice, a little bit, be some testing for the new movement stuff that is supposed to make movement that was previously difficult less difficult. This is silly. I mean, I don't know, maybe it doesn't make any difference, but I'm going to do that. Anyway, so they'll come through here, they'll get mobbed again. This will be a smaller one, but they'll have something. And they get into here, and they'll get attacked from this side and this side, so that'll be an interesting test of both tight quarters and kind of lots of bad guys. They'll come down here, and there's a large mob again, and then we'll have this long passage, so we'll see if you can manage to get through a long passage reasonably well. There's some more maziness, and then I'll have one more last encounter, and then they'll get... I don't know how long it'll take. If it doesn't take long enough, we can replay some of the older... We can definitely replay the older one that we played last week that gave us trouble. So that's it.